All right, let's talk about something that's on basically every student's mind right now, artificial intelligence. I mean, this is probably the most powerful study tool we've ever seen, right? But there's a huge catch, and that's what we're going to break down.
So it really boils down to this one question, doesn't it? Is this incredible technology a shortcut to actually understanding stuff better, or is it just a fancy new way to cheat? And not just cheat on a test, but cheat yourself out of an education. The wild part? The answer is completely up to you.
And that really gets to the core of it all. The whole point isn't to use AI to just spit out answers faster. It's about using it to learn the material better, deeper, and in a way that actually sticks. This is all about augmenting your brain, not replacing it.
Now, before we jump into any of the cool tricks and prompts, we have to start with the most important part, the rules of the road, because getting this wrong can have some pretty serious consequences. So let's make the difference crystal clear.
Okay, look at this. The difference here is huge, right? On the left, you're using AI to get past a tricky spot so you can keep moving forward. You're still the one driving. But the stuff on the right, that's just handing over the keys. You're outsourcing the thinking. One way makes you smarter. The other just makes you dependent on the tool. And trust me, that dependency will fail you when it really matters.
This quote just nails it. It's all about the long game. You know, when you're sitting in an exam or in a job interview down the line, you're not going to have an AI there to whisper the answers. The students who figure out how to use AI to make their own minds sharper, they're the ones who are going to be miles ahead. It's a tough truth, but it's one you got to hear.
Okay, with the big ethical talk out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. How do you actually use this thing? We're going to walk through some really practical, step-by-step workflows that can turn AI into your own personal, on-demand tutor.
This is where AI is just amazing. It's like having an infinitely patient tutor who can explain literally anything, in any way you want, as many times as you need. So let's say you're totally stuck on a concept in biology or economics. Here's how you handle it. First things first, you have to try it on your own. Seriously, don't skip this part. This is how you figure out exactly what's tripping you up. Then you tell the AI your specific point of confusion. And here's the magic trick. Step 4. Explain the concept back to the AI in your own words and ask it to critique you. This is basically the Feynman technique, and it is the single best way to know if you really get it.
We've all been there, right? Just staring at that blinking cursor with absolutely no idea where to even start on a big paper. Well, AI can be a fantastic writing partner, but only, and this is a big only, if you use it the right way.
The order here is everything. This is what makes it ethical. See, you use AI at the very beginning for ideas and at the very end for feedback. But the heavy lifting in the middle, the actual writing, the thinking, the arguing, that has to be all you. You're using AI as your editor, not your ghostwriter. The final work is and absolutely must be yours.
Oh man, with math, it's so tempting to just copy-paste a problem and ask for the solution. But you learn literally nothing that way. The real power move is to shift your whole approach from solve this for me to teach me how to solve this.
This kind of prompt just completely changes the game. You're not just asking for the final answer, you're asking for the underlying principle, the general method, a step-by-step example, and then a brand new problem so you can test yourself. This is how you actually build a real skill in math.
Okay, so we've got the fundamentals down. Now let's dive into some more advanced strategies. When it's crunch time before a big exam, AI can give you what feels like an almost unfair advantage.
Forget just rereading your notes over and over. We all know that doesn't really work. The absolute best way to prep for a test is to take practice tests. And with AI, you can now generate an infinite number of them, perfectly tailored to whatever you need to study.
This prompt right here is going to be your new best friend before an exam. You tell it the topic, exactly what kind of questions you want, and, this is the crucial part, you tell it not to show you the answers yet. You take the test like it's the real deal, and only then do you ask the AI to grade you and show you where you went wrong.
All right, I love this next one. It's a little weird, a little counterintuitive, but it's so powerful. It forces your brain to engage with the material on a way deeper level than just trying to memorize facts.
Yep, you heard that right. You're going to ask the AI to try and trick you. This is brilliant because instead of just passively reading, you're actively hunting for mistakes. It forces your brain to really justify why something is right or wrong. It turns studying from this passive thing into an active, critical mission.
And here's exactly how you do it. You ask for an explanation, but you tell it to hide a couple of landmines in there, common mistakes that students always make. Then it's your job to go in, find them, and explain why they're wrong. If you can do that, you have truly mastered the topic, no question.
We have covered a ton of different tactics, but if you only take one single thing away from all this, please make it this next habit. This is the one thing that will give you the biggest bang for your buck.
That's it. That's all it takes. Just 10 minutes at the end of every time you study. This one tiny routine can replace hours of you just passively rereading your notes and textbooks, which we know isn't very effective.
This right here, this is the keystone habit. After you finish studying, you use this prompt. And notice how specific it is. It asks for questions that test understanding and application, not just, can you spit back a definition? This forces your brain to pull out and actually use the information you just spent time learning.
And the reason this works so incredibly well is backed by decades of learning science. It's a principle called active recall, the simple act of pulling information out of your brain. It is the most powerful way to build strong, long-lasting memories. And now, thanks to AI, you have a tool that can do it with you for any subject, anytime you want.
So, look, the technology is here. We've got the workflows. We've got the ethical rules. This isn't just about trying to get a better grade on your next test. This is about becoming a better, more efficient, and, frankly, a more curious learner for the rest of your life. So the only real question left is, how are you going to use it?